This is a monthly discussion for our Central Region Team Engagement virtual team. This call is open to the entire Central Region. For those of you that have not attended before, we welcome you. We'll be discussing offer updates, answer questions, and most importantly, take field data for our products. Things like competitive information, customer success stories, and/or suggestions for features and functionality. My name is Milos, I'm the area VTL, and Kim Leffler is the theater VTL. Today we'll cover grip updates along with a handful of product updates. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. So first and foremost, please let us know. Please let us know what your customers are asking for in conversations, RFPs, designs, things like that. Grip is the best forum for this, and products can only get better if we know what's happening in the field. Any questions about the process? Or if you have any open grips, feel free to share. I'd be happy to help you with them.
Nothing at this time.
All right, appreciate that, Mike. So we talked about Equinox Client. By now you should have the latest client on your desktop and also your mobile phone. So it came out on the 18th. I think it was available for download on the 19th or maybe 20th of December. And the automatic update happened in the App Store about a week ago. Any questions or maybe some feedback on the updated client?
Not at this time.
All right. And Mike, just curious, have you had a chance to look at the Outlook plugin?
No. While it downloads, right, automatically and installs automatically, I know I did update it.
The only reason I ask is I don't use that plugin. I know you can do a custom logo, maybe put templates in for some of the text on the dial-in information.
Yeah, I haven't looked at any of the specific settings to it. One of the things that I have noticed, though, is that the click to dial seems to want to work again inside Outlook, which is nice.
Oh, awesome. Okay. There were a lot of enhancements. Most of it was just, besides the usability stuff, like new features around conferencing, especially around the mobile like workflow, the stability of the product has improved dramatically. I've noticed that firsthand. I run Equinox
I have
on
too.
Mac. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Outlook does not lock up as often now.
Oh, that's great news. Okay. All right. And I happen to have a Mac, so I've been playing around with things like, talking to Siri and saying, hey, call Kim Leffler on Equinox, for example. I think that's pretty cool. All right. So last month we also shared a few details around the Try Avaya Equinox trial program. So, a lot of us today can show a demo to customers using the on Avaya production environment we have today. Some of you may have some customers that are using Equinox Client for the software-only capabilities, but now we can take that another step and build an environment for testing the full stack. And so this is a proof of concept, it's not a trial, and it offers the full stack of UC in a hosted environment. It's voice, it's video conferencing, it's persistent IM, and it's, of course, the WebRTC meetings, which is a very popular feature. So if anybody out there has any customer candidates or maybe some questions about the process or the offer, feel free to pipe in. All right. A little bit more on Equinox conferencing. Part of the Avaya Way training we did, I think it was class 4326. What's new with Avaya Equinox? It was actually a Fletch podcast with Brad Black chipping in. Some of the highlights are here. What we did was we switched up the way the switched video is done, so in the multi-stream environment. So instead of the server doing, the layout for the screens, now the client or the endpoint does. So instead of just having 80 ports for transcoded video, now we can go up to 600 ports on the same piece of hardware. And of course, we still hold the 15,000 concurrent calls in that environment, and now we support WebRTC within a Firefox environment. A couple other highlights, operator assistance, that was something that quite a few people asked for, and we also now support multi-tenant within the Equinox conferencing environment. talked about Microsoft over the last few months. We had the four options. Now we got the fifth option, which is still kind of in a beta environment. It's the presence services integration right to Link or Skype for Business with actually, instead of saying integration, I should say federation. And the idea is to federate between two different companies or potentially between two different domains within the same company. And we could do either or of those. The idea is to allow Microsoft users to initiate an instant message with a 1X or an Equinox user. Any questions or comments on this?
Milos, do you know when there was a comment in there that they were going to be integrating the messaging aspect of AMM into Presence? Do you have any idea as to when that's going to occur? And then the second thing is, right now they indicated, interdomain and intradomain, which is what you were just talking about. Is there any comment on how extensible that's going to be besides one domain? Do we know, is there a limit to the number of domains that we can interface with?
I'm happy to check into the domain count. What are you running into?
No, I'm just curious because that's going to be the first question. If you think about that, if you can integrate to somebody externally, right, between two corporations, what would be the limit to that? How many could you integrate to? That's you know what I'm saying? That's the next logical question.
Of course. So there's definitely going to be some hard limits on how many domains or how many people we can federate to. I don't think we're going to get that information until the beta is done testing. I anticipate seeing that within the offer definition.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll mark that down, and as soon as that information comes available, I'll back into it and get that to you. Now, your first question was messaging on AMM. Are you referring to IM between?
Okay. Yeah, everything that I saw from the tech transfer, there was a comment inside there when they talked about this specific thing, that the capabilities that are inherent to AMM right now is going to be folded into the present server. So now we'll be back to a single server entity to provide this functionality. But they really didn't. It was more of a roadmap, a POR, and I'm curious to know when they anticipate that at this point.
Okay, let me see if I can get a date for you. Just making a note here. I appreciate the questions, Mike. Any other questions out there before we go on? All right. We also had some highlights on the J100 series. If you're familiar with this series of hardware phones, they do work on Aura. They also work on IP Office, but they happen to work on Zang and also BroadSoft kind of open source environments as well. It is based on the 96X1 software, and the value to an end user is not only does the hardware have a long life, and in my opinion, they never break, but also the software has an enhanced feature set. For example, in Aura, we can use SIP AST, which goes above and beyond the 19 features that are in SIP. The J129 is a walk-up phone. It can use a Core Power license, but it's really intended for an enhanced IPT license, which is much cheaper. The J139 is the entry-level phone. J169 is kind of the everyday voice phone. It's a monochrome phone, and it's intended to eventually replace the 9608G, which today is probably the highest grossing phone that we have selling right now. The J179 is for power users, and we also have some wireless modules that aren't listed here that apply to the J129 and the J179, offering Wi-Fi. And specific to the 179, it could also provide Bluetooth connectivity. Any questions about the J100 series?
Milos, is this information posted on the sales portal?
It is.
Cool,
I will
thanks.
get that. Yep, I'll point it over to you. All right, great questions. Thank you.